Welcome to Lok Talks. This is Dr. Lukesh Bhatia. Subscribe to this channel for professional medical guidance, spirituality and meditation, life coaching, personality development, and travelogues. Thank you very much to be a part of my viewership team. Thank you very much. Hello and welcome to all my audience in today's webinar for all internations. At the outset, I am thankful to all the esteemed audience to give me this opportunity to be with you all this evening. On a lighter note, just now my wife texted me saying that wish you all the best and KISS. By the time I could land up back from the romantic flight of thought, she wisely texted me back stating, keep it simple, stupid. Well, let's go ahead. Today's topic is ergonomic strategies to avoid musculoskeletal disorders or injury. So I'll be talking on that topic. So what is ergonomics? Let's understand that. The science and practice of designing jobs or workplaces to match the capabilities and limitations of the human body. What are the benefits of ergonomics? Safer jobs with fewer injuries, increased efficiency and productivity, increased quality and fewer errors, and most importantly, improved morale. So what is ergonomics in the short forms? If we understand, the ergo means work, nomics means rules or laws. So it is the laws of work. So what exactly ergonomics is? It is a study of people and their efficiency at their working environment. It is one of the definitions of ergonomics. It is understandable that there are different definitions because ergonomics is all about differences. You can observe differences in the slide. These are different. There are differences in size, shape, strength, and abilities of individual workers. These differences calls for different designs in equipment, furniture, workstations, and routines. Ergonomics is used in a workplace to help prevent repetitive and cumulative injuries. There are two broad categories of ergonomic factors. One is environmental, in which there is hearing, vision, general comforts, and health. The second is physical. In the environmental factors, things can be like sick building syndrome. If the building is not designed properly, the ventilation is not there, the lights are not there. So that is what is called sick building syndrome. If there is excessive noises, way back in the early 90s, I was working in an industrial hospital, which was a 1200 bedded hospital, and a lot of patients I used to get because of excessive noisy area they were working in the industry. Then excessive improper lighting. There can be too much of excessive lights, there can be too less of the lights, and temperature extremes. Again, I would like to make a referral to my experience of the industrial hospital working in a Steel Authority Limited hospital. That was early 90s of my experience, and all these factors I have come across working in that hospital. It was a purely industrial hospital, no civil were allowed, and civilians, if they wanted to take facility on the avail facility in that hospital, they were required to make separate payments like any private hospital. So what are the physical stresses? The physical stressors in the workplaces can stress on the parts like joints, muscles, nerves, tendons, and bones, and resulting in cumulative trauma disorders or repetitive strain injuries. What are the types of injuries? It can result in muscle pain, joint pains, swelling, numbness, restricted motion, repetitive stress injuries, repetitive motion injuries, cumulative trauma disorders, and musculoskeletal disorders. There are three main ergonomic principles. Work activities should permit workers to adopt several different healthy and safe postures. Muscle forces should be done by the largest appropriate muscle groups available, and the work activities should be performed with the joints at about midpoint of their range of motion and not in their extremes. This is no good at all. So mid range of motion should be used preferably. Let's see certain facts. The average person working at a keyboard can perform 50,000 to 200,000 keystrokes a day. Overexertion and falls are most common cause of workplace injuries. An average of 125,000 back injuries due to improper lifting each year. Muscles overuse results in tiny tears in the muscles and scarring. These contribute to inflammation and muscle stiffness. Target regions are back, upper extremities, lower extremities. Types of problems or mismatches. The physical sizes may be different for different individuals. Endurances, what they can tolerate. Strength, muscle strength may vary from one person to another person. Manipulative, environmental factors, and cognitive problems can be there. Then the physical sizes may be different. The clearance, the reach might be a little far off. Then the equipment sizes might be different. Personal protective equipment have to be perfectly in order, and that has to be looked after. Well, cognitive, this is something very important to understand. What is this cognitive ergonomics? It is a division of ergonomics, a discipline and a practice that aims to ensure appropriate interaction between workers, products, and environment, and human needs, capabilities, and limitations. In this human systems interactions, cognitive ergonomics focuses on mental processes, especially on cognitive function and psychological or behavioral level interactions. Let's understand something about cognitive process. In ergonomics and psychology, cognition refers to the mental process that are involved in processing and handling information. That is encoding, maintaining, rehearsing, recalling, and transforming information in the human mind and brain. Human cognition can be divided into several functions that underlie optimal human performance. It is important to recognize the cognitive functions that are relevant for a specific task or a job, to ensure that the working environment is suitable for these task requirements. Studying cognition, research on human cognition describes the nature of human cognitive system. The knowledge of the human parts of the system is needed in the design of the equipments or appliances used, etc. It is useful in appreciating the critical aspects of when one tries to fit an environment to the human cognitive functions that are relevant to the specific jobs or tasks. So let's understand something about what is musculoskeletal disorder. A musculoskeletal disorder or the disorder of muscles, tendons, nerves, ligaments, joints, cartilage, blood vessels, or spinal discs. The classical examples are the lateral aspect of the elbow when it starts becoming painful because of working in odd positions, the frequent rotations of the forearm, it gives rise to inflammation of the lateral aspect of the elbow. It is called lateral epicondylitis, and commonly we call it tennis elbow, or the medial aspect also start getting affected, and that is called golfer's elbow. Features shoulder, that is rotator cuff, also may get affected. That also becomes inflamed, and tendinitis can happen in the shoulder when one has to work constantly in above head position for a prolonged period of time, more than 2 hours a day, will be taken considering something same and further slide in presentations. A carpal tunnel syndrome, that one has to work in, and one can start getting numbness in the hand and the lateral three fingers, and that happens in the vibrating tools one has to work on. Most important another area is low back pain. All right, so these are the commonest areas and the presentations. Let's see some musculoskeletal signs and symptoms: decreased grip on or pinch strength, swelling, fatigue, loss of function, numbness, burning sensations, tingling, pain, cramping, stiffness. Sickness absenteeism. Now you must have seen that you go to any doctor, any private or a government doctor in Qatar, they will be generating sick leaves from a e-Jaza website, because the government is concerned and trying to accumulate data regarding what are the commonest causes in Qatar for which they are asking sickness. They are reporting sick leave. So sickness absenteeism becomes a very major reason, and this is how the countries do collect their data. The e-Jaza website development by Qatar government is the way for that, to find out, to get the statistics, to get their own data of the country. What are the reasons? What are the diagnoses? What are the common causes for which people are reporting sick leave or sickness absenteeism? So women suffer more from the ergonomic injuries due to jobs requiring more heavy lifting, repetitive movements while completing their task, and awkward postures. And as a result of, and 70% may have carpal tunnel, 62% may have tendinitis. This tendinitis can be there. A lot of people, those who are operating their mobiles, you can see my camera, you can see my actions. Let me just check. Are you able to see my camera as well?
Yes, we can see. We can see.
Yeah. So this particular action, when you are using it all the time, operating your mobile, texting mobile alatul, this can result in a problem known as dequervant stenosynovitis. All right. So these are all the problems which are resulting day in day out with overuse of your body parts. All right. So now workplace musculoskeletal disorders are caused by the exposure to the risk factors, the repetition, the forces involved, the awkward postures, contact stresses, vibrations. Almost every alternate days I get hammer injuries. So these are all things what do happen. These all injuries are work preventable, and there is no better way than doing all these, labeling those zones as a caution zone jobs. If you have any caution zone jobs, you have to label them, you have to train them. So the two requirements in those areas are that you need to create an awareness education program. You have to evaluate caution zone jobs for all those hazards, reduce exposures below the hazard levels or to a degree which is more visible for them. So these are all things which one has to take care of it. There are safety department people are there. Many patients do come and ask us, no sir, don't put too much in our papers because a lot of inquiry and all those things can happen. So what is the caution zone? And all those caution zone people might be required to work in awkward postures, high hand forces, highly repetitive motions, repeated impacts, heavy, frequent or awkward lifting, moderate to high hand-arm vibrations. So these are all such injuries which need to be trained to each individuals working in those areas. Awkward postures what are all those postures? Being in these work positions for more than 2 hours total per day, like hands above head, elbow above shoulder, back bent forwards more than 30 degrees. When you are bending like that, more than 30 degrees, neck bent forwards 30 degrees. A lot of people are not bothered much and constantly they are observing their mobiles nowadays. Taking excessive pillow while sleeping. So that also one should be worried about. Here I'm talking about only about the workplace and the office. But at home, the commonest disaster people are doing is taking wrong pillows, wrong mismanagement of the pillows. That also can weaken their neck muscles and can make their muscles weaker, painful, and subsequently the degenerative disorders. You must have heard about cervical spondylosis. These are all problems associated with mismanagement of the pillows. Well, a small introduction, if you allow me to make to lighten the tension. One thing is there that I also have my YouTube channel by name of Lok Talks. You must have seen in my introduction slide. Lok Talks, a soulful connection. On that, you can find how to place pillows correctly. There are 2 videos you can find in that. More than 100 videos you will find on different health aspects, backache, neck pain. Many videos I have created, shoulder problems also. So how to address that before reaching a doctor, what all one can do. Lot of knowledge about health education knowledge I'm sharing on that through that platform. And that is why I've created now for last almost now 15-16 months. I keep sharing almost weekly, I keep uploading videos on that. So continuing on that, the squatting, kneeling positions. At times the kneeling positions, if you have to work for a long time, you can develop bursitis, you can develop a lot of soft tissues, hypertrophies. So all those awkward postures one has to take care of. So working with a hand overhead positions, a lot of laborers who are working in like installing fans, electrical engineers, a lot of people who have to keep their hands in this position for more than 2 hours per day, they can land up in trouble, and that is a caution they should be observing. Then, as I said just now, keeping neck more than 30 degrees bent, or bending your, you can have a look in these pictures of constantly if you are bending forward for more than 2 hours per day, you are going to develop weakness and painful muscles because the muscles can land up in sudden fatigue and you can have an acute spasm of your muscles. Squatting and kneeling for more than 2 hours, you can have a look here. When you are kneeling down for a very long time, more than 2 hours as a part of your job, you may face problems and one should be aware about it. More than 2 hours per day, one should not be doing squatting at all. A point to understand here, those who are doing regularly yoga, and they should be always be having this particular point in their knowledge that if your knee is all right, then only you should be doing Vajrasana, all right, in which we are sitting on the heels, bending the knees, and sitting on your in a squatting position. In this, on your heels when you are sitting in Vajrasana, that can give rise to a lot of problems. So if you do not have any problem, then only you should do it. Otherwise, don't do it, please. Or consult a doctor, musculoskeletal specialist, somebody like me, or anyone who is close by to you. High hand forces, more than 2 hours per day, benching 2 or more pounds weight or 4 or more pound forces. All right. Gripping 10 or more pounds weight or forces. All these are such situations. A lot of chefs who are doing constant squeezing tasks, they are always required that they should not be holding too heavy weights. Constantly squeezing work is required. In my practice also, like this high hand forces, a lot of you must have seen people working on JCB machines here in Qatar. All those who are working on JCB machines, invariably they land up almost 2 to 4 patients in a month. On an average, I keep seeing patients, those who are working on JCB machines, because constantly they are working for 8 to 12 hours using their hand grips. All right. So these are the things they should be aware about, that they should not be working continuously. You must have seen constant sound coming from the JCB machine. After every 2 hours, that sound goes off. After every 1 hour, the sound goes off, because the driver is required to take rest. And if they do not take rest, they land up with injuries. So highly repetitive motions, the workers repeat the same motion, same activities, can doing more than 2 hours, and neck, shoulders, elbows, wrists, hands, these are all the vulnerable areas where they can land up with injuries in there because of over work. So intensive keying for more than 4 hours per day. Nowadays, everybody is working on the keyboards. Now, all those people who are permitted to work from home, they are all working on their systems, all working on the laptops or their desktops. So they should be aware about it. If you have been keying for more than 4 hours, you are not supposed to cross your limits. Take a break. I am coming across this kind of experience also. Those who have been working at home, people are feeling more taxed out now, because there are no working hours left out now. Every time the working demands are increasing more and more. So one should be aware about it. Repeated impact injuries, using hands or knees as a hammer. Not many times when the hammer is not around, or there's nothing to there to hammer, you tend to use your hands, and when you repeatedly do that, you are hurting your wrist and carpal bones and resulting in degenerative disorders. A lot of people come with the wrist getting into osteoarthritis, getting into degenerative problems. These are all the situations why they are not able to address it well, because of the repetitive impact. Then heavy and frequent awkward lifting objects more than 75 pounds once a day. A lot of staff from the different hospitals keep consulting me because they are required to lift heavy patients in ICU and emergency departments. So they should be having that knowledge. They should ask help from their colleagues. 75 pounds once a day, that's a limit. 55 pounds more than 10 times per day, 10 pounds more than twice per minute for more than 2 hours per day, 25 pounds above shoulder, below knees or at arm's length for more than 25 times per day. These are the maximum limits, and all those employers or their staff, their supervisors should be aware about their limits, and they should not be forced to work more than this. Otherwise, many times they do land up with sickness absenteeism. Moderate to high hand-arm vibration. There are many disorders which do happen, like trigger finger. All right, suddenly your thumb, your particular finger stops bending. All right. So the first question we do ask is, have you been working on these kind of vibrating tools? So if you are working on a moderate level for more than 2 hours per day, or on a higher level, more than 30 minutes per day, or very frequently have been working on a vibrating tools, yes, that can make again vulnerable to develop much more musculoskeletal disorders. Analyzing caution zones out for hazards, use a systematic method to look at the physical demands, layout of the work area, size, shape, and weights of the objects. The results will help to determine the controls. Again, as I discussed just now, this point I have already covered. More than 4 hours per day above shoulder jobs like this, they should not be working. The longer is required, then adequate gap, adequate rest should be given to that staff. Risk factors becoming more hazardous. There are more greater intensity involved working with the back bent forwards more than 30 degree without any support, or bending more than 45 degrees, more than 2 hours total per day. So more than 30 degree, 4 hours maximum, more than 45 degree, 2 hours maximum. So these are the limits we all should be aware about. All right. So there is a combination of risk factors and we should be aware about these things. The flexion forces, whenever you are required, as I said just now, JCB working machines and all, the positions, how you are working, how to hold that. Many times we just give them a support, the plaster, and they can still function. The idea is just to give the rest to that. So all these ideas, they should have it. More than 3 hours per day, they should not be working. Right? So what are the ergonomic solutions for the mouse? If you are required to work long time using your mouse, then use foot control mouse are also nowadays available. So what are the lift assisting devices are also available for heavy things. You must have seen in bigger warehouses, small lifting devices are also available. So these are all things which are providing ergonomic solutions. Shoulder harnesses for landscaping tool to reduce your hand forces. Whenever they are putting insecticides or spraying on these plants and all, these are all just to keep your body erect and not to bend down forward and lean down forwards, and you can keep spraying and take care of your ergonomics. So keeping yourself awareness level high and observing your body activities is also very important. Nowadays, voice-activated softwares to eliminate the keys, keyboards are also available. That is the reason why they have come up. A lot of youngsters I have observed, they are using Siri and all those things. That's true. They are overusing it, but yes, that is how they have come out. It is also one of the ergonomic solutions. Well, if you have caution zone jobs and begin an employee awareness education program, analyze your workplace for hazards, reduce any hazards you find, provide information on all the caution zone risk factors, show the types, symptoms, and impacts of work site musculoskeletal disorders, show the importance of early reporting of symptoms, identify the hazards and measures to reduce them, teach the requirements of the ergonomic rules. Many times I am observing in my practice also, they keep bearing it, they keep doing their local stuff, just not to report things to their higher authorities, to their superiors and supervisors, and at times they do land up in trouble. So timely reporting is equally important. It doesn't matter whether you go to Hamad, you go to private doctor, but earlier reporting is required so that either you'll be given a local plaster, local support, or you may be given bed rest. As I have said earlier, the upper limbs, lower limbs, back, these are all three major vulnerable areas. Reducing identified hazards, you need to reduce hazards to below hazard levels or to a degree technologically and economically feasible through. And the engineering and the administrative controls, individuals' work practices and PPE. The PPE are all the personal protective equipments. The employers are not required to reduce their employee hours to comply. If they are well trained, then there should not be any problem with that. Reducing identified hazards. You need to reduce hazards to below hazard level or to a degree, technologically and economically feasible through. Engineering and administrative controls or the individual work practices, all we have discussed already. The job specific training is required. Training must include the hazards of the work activities, proper use and maintenance of control measures. Employee involvement is equally important. They should be involved in a way that it is for their own safety. So involve your employees in analyzing the caution zone jobs, selecting the hazard control methods, reviewing ergonomics activities annually, and results should be shared with our safety committee. What are the costs involved? and your cost is very heavy for your back pain problems overall. And now you can see how much costly it is, and when you have to provide their equipments to take care, they are much cheaper, right? So what to do? The only thing is to prevent. Warm up and stretch before activities are repetitive, static or prolonged. Take frequent breaks from any sustained posture every 20 to 30 minutes. Well, one very important thing what I want to point out here, I have not discussed much on that in my slides, but one very important point I want to talk about here is more sitting is now equivalent to much more hazardous than smoking. You must have seen and read many articles in different medias as well, and even on my Doc Talk channels also, you can find a topic, sitting more hazardous than smoking. And the point to highlight in that is constantly sitting is not supposed to be done. Even in my Aster also, I'm running a movie there now, that one should not be sitting more than 20 to 30 minutes. So this is a caution for those who are working at home, working from home rather. They should not be constantly sitting. Keep moving after every 20 to 30 minutes. Respect pain positions or stop painful activities. Recognize early signs of inflammation. So now let's understand your postures while you are working on computers or while you are working on. Now, if you see here, if you are keeping it the elbow bent more than 90 degrees in this position, that's not a good position to do. All right. Always keep it little bent at this level. If you see this, the green mark, that is why you must have always seen from the very beginning with the desktop when they were coming up. Nowadays, more people are using laptops and all. So the challenge is constantly they are keeping it up or at the same level. The ideal position is to keep it little down. All right. So one has to observe all these positions. Another important point I want to bring up here is, if you see, the ankle and leg position should be 90 degree. The leg and thigh should be 90 degrees, and the thigh and trunk should be 90 degrees. This is one such position. If you sit for a long time in this position, then even the body will not be injured or will not get damages. But sitting for a long time, as I said, should be avoided. But if you are required to sit, make sure that you are making yourself comfortable before you are working for a long duration like this. I hope I'm clear. Hello?
Yes,
You're all with me?
Yes, doctor.
All right.
Very informative.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Think of a postures in terms of the joint position. Static and awkward postures leading to decreased movements, decreased circulation, increased stress and fatigue. Constantly, when we are working in a particular position, we get so much lost in our work, we may tend to compromise the circulation of that area. So constantly making movements, moving the shoulders, moving your back a little bit, moving your legs, moving your ankles, every 30-40 minutes at least make it a point to make all the general joint movements for at least 20 times will be a great help to improve the circulation, right? Now let's see the correct and incorrect techniques. Any object when you have to lift up, what common mistakes people do is they will be keeping their knee joint straight, they will be bending on their spine, and this is a highly incorrect lifting technique. Almost 80% people reporting in my clinic having back pain, they have a history of lifting heavy weights. And when you are, what is the safe limit of lifting heavy weight? 10% of your body weight. 10% of your body weight is a safe lifting. On an average, we consider, or even if you forget this 10% formula, safe thing to remember is what weight you are permitted to carry inside your flight. 7 kgs. That is the safe limit, what you can carry. Rest all should be carried with some kind of assistance. Or if you are required to carry, then sit down like this, then a slightly squatting position, keeping your thighs parallel to the ground and then lift up. All right. Same way here, if you are lifting up like this, bending like this, that is another disaster one can do. Sit like this and then lift up. All right. So this is something very important. We all keep doing these things and at times land up with big problems, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now practice wellness at work and home. Something about exercises. You are doing it for your body, which one must keep doing it every day. 3 points I would like to tell you about. As I said, pillow positioning, not to sit for long time, and make sure that you are walking at least 40 minutes every day. I repeat again, 40 minutes every day, or at least 3 kilometers in 24 hours. Each kilometer you should finish up in a span of 9 to 12 minutes. Young people must develop a habit to walk at least 12 minutes 1 kilometer, and 5 kilometers everyone should be walking. All right. If you have no problem in your knees, you can do jogging, but at least walking should be done by everyone. Walking is the best exercise to keep your core muscles strong. All right. Backache is the commonest problem. If you don't take care of your back muscles, you will be end up with trouble with frequent visiting the doctor for, and we keep advising to strengthen your back muscles. Coming back to the nutrition, of course will keep your not only your gastrointestinal tract healthy, will keep your mind also comfortable. All right. Relaxation techniques, spirit, of course, as we all know, constantly working and having inputs on your eyes, constantly your screen time, very high screen time is not a good idea. You must monitor your screen time. Do not exceed more than 4 hours in 24 hours. All right. A lot of people are nowadays using their headphones, earphones. Not a very good idea. They are constantly having sound waves on their eardrums. So take care of it. All right. Talking to people is much more important. Taking care of each other is much more important. What we are losing with all this getting lost in the gadgets. Well, the car prices are also increasing because every time they are now designing and redesigning considering your back problems. Little bit about carpal tunnel syndrome. When you are constantly keeping your hand like this or in very much too much bent like this, up to 15% of occurrence rates in certain industries. 15% is very high percentage, right? A natural occurrence with the repetitive motion of the hands and the wrists, especially with the high forces and awkward wrist positioning. As I said, this is awkward wrist positioning and this is awkward. Extremes of wrist positioning is very difficult and makes it more prone for development of carpal tunnel syndrome. What is carpal tunnel syndrome? If I try to make understand in the layman's languages, it is in this area. The median nerve which is passing, that gets compressed. That can be because of excessive fluid which is getting accumulated, and it starts giving rise to tingling and numbness in these 3 fingers, and very frequent happening this happens. So one special thing I am trying to bring it up, proper keyboard positioning and the good wrist. You must have seen these mouse have become more flattened nowadays, so that you are not required to keep your wrist in this position. All right. So more flat mouse are recommended because of the same reasons. Over the years and last few years, definitely the incidence is dropping down, but still awareness is the key. All right. So what is CTD? I'm now on my ending of my slide. What is CTD? Can somebody unmute himself or herself? Let me see how much we are all listening carefully.
It is. Can anyone say what is CTD?
Yes. Anyone can say?
It's cumulative trauma disorders.
No idea.
Correct. That's right. Cumulative trauma disorder. How to address the risk? Use automatic tools for repetitive acts. You must have seen those who are from India or any similar countries. While changing the wheels, we are using mechanical spanners, right? Here they are using automatic ones, right? So those are all screwing and bolt tightening machines they are using. That is the right thing to do. Eliminate unnecessary tasks, movements by redesigning, maintaining, and all those procedures and workstations. Frequent maintenance is required. Take short and frequent breaks. Alternate tasks and process to use different muscle groups. Well, I'm now on my last slide. Good ergonomic design of the tools and processes and the furnitures can markedly improve and personal comfort, health, moral, and productivity. Individual efforts as a part of the department workshop team is the greatest means of identifying and improving the workplace economic issues. So here I end up summarizing all my points, what I have said so far. Thank you very much. Thanks for giving me this opportunity, and wish you all the best to all the members of Internations and all those who have been listening to me. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Doctor. So I will just like to share one screen of mine. We will like to present you a certificate of appreciation for the Aster volunteers for helping the community, and to Dr. Lokesh Bhatia for helping the community by sharing your valuable time and knowledge on the online health awareness session on economics. So now the vote of the thanks will be given by one of my members, Rekha. So Rekha, I now hand over to you. Can you please give us the vote of the thanks?
Sure. Thank you, Ankit. And thank you. It's my privilege to extend a very hearty vote of thanks to our special guest speaker, Dr. Lokesh Bhatia, and for sparing his time from his busy schedule and sharing with us his knowledge. I believe that today's session was very interesting and helpful to each one of us, and I can vouch that everyone agrees to that. It gave a really deep insight into the topic and to know the know-how of our everyday life and basically the health benefits that we need to take care of. Again, thank you, Doctor, once again for your valuable inputs and sharing this what I can say, a very helpful information with us. So hopefully we would definitely look forward for more such awareness sessions that can help our health. And our sincerest appreciation and thanks to Vishnu from Aster Volunteers and Aster Medical Center for giving us this opportunity, and all the participants for their presence and attendance, and last but not the least, Ankit and from the Doha Change Makers Group, and for the members. We thank you for all being with us this evening. It's a great pleasure. And good night, and
thank you very much. Thanks a lot. So nice of you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you everyone.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.